Hồng treo gió có gì mà hot rần rần vậy? Hai mọi người, mình là Jin. Lúc Tết thấy người người nhà nhà ăn hồng treo gió mà nhìn thèm thực sự luôn. Có một sự thật là mình chưa từng ăn hồng treo gió bao giờ. Khó khăn lắm thì mình mới đặt được 2 gói hồng treo gió bên Đang Farm vì nó đang hot hàng liên tục. Chắc mọi người cũng biết rồi ha, Đang Farm là một brand chuyên về đặc sản Đà Lạt. Sản phẩm thì chất lượng, an toàn mà bao bì khá là đẹp và chỉnh chu nữa. Mình mua hồng treo gió nguyên quả, một túi 225g gồm 8 quả hồng. Hồng được hút chân không rất kín, nhìn cảm quan khá là sạch sẽ, rất là khó bẻ đôi trái hồng ra nha. Vì hồng bên Đang Farm được sấy khá kỹ, nhờ vậy sẽ tiết kiệm được cân nặng mà hồng bảo quản được lâu hơn nữa. Sấy kỹ như vậy nhưng mà hồng không hề bị khô đâu nha mọi người. Cắn vào một miếng sẽ cảm nhận được vị ngọt nguyên bản của hồng, hậu vị ngọt thanh ngay cuốn hồng khá là dễ chịu. Hồng dai dẻo sực sực, ăn dính thật sự luôn. Mỗi năm chỉ có một mùa hồng thôi, mọi người nhớ tranh thủ ghé Đang Farm mua hồng treo gió ăn thử nha, đảm bảo sẽ bị ghiền đó.
Xin chào mọi người đến với Have a Sip uống gì không. Mọi người có thể để ý đây là lần đầu tiên cái khung cảnh nó quá khác biệt, thậm chí nó hơi, I would say the word a little boring, more boring than normal sets that I have for Have a Sip. I just mentioned that. No, it's just
You
kidding.
think the set is boring?
I do think the set is
Wow.
boring, except the fact that he put on a yellow shoes to match with the cup. That helped a little bit with that, and I pulled out my notebook which is in yellow by accident. Xin chào mừng mọi người đến Have a Sip, và hôm nay đây là một cái vinh dự rất lớn của Thùy Minh, tại vì là mình đang ở một đất nước hoàn toàn khác, đang ở Dubai, đang ở một studio cũng rất là khác, nhưng mà đang nói chuyện với một nhân vật mà chắc chắn các bạn đã biết là ai. I say I'm in a different country, different set,
Yes.
but a
This
guest
is the first time outside of Vietnam.
outside of Vietnam.
First time outside of Vietnam. Welcome.
Thank you for take time for this.
Of course.
And maybe for you, it's like any millionth time you meet new people. But for me, seeing you on screen and certainly here in real life, it's very different. But talking about your
Is it
experience,
better or worse?
I will answer at the end of the interview. As Have a Sip, I always ask these questions, okay?
Yes.
Tell me about your drink.
Tell me about a drink.
Yeah.
So I don't drink anything. So I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink Coke. I don't drink Sprite. I don't drink Fanta. So I only drink water and tea. Mm-hmm. And I'm having tea.
Okay. Okay. And if the tea, say something about you.
Consistent taste. Mm-hmm. But deadly results.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see how much content changed since the day you start Nas Daily?
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you for having me. Mm-hmm. Great to be on your show, and thank you for including me. When I started 7 years ago,
You look so young for that. Okay.
I was very young and I was very stupid. And I only made short videos and I put them on Facebook. And that was one of the first times where people were making videos on Facebook. There was no money in it then, and there's no money in it now. So that didn't change.
That didn't change.
But everybody now wants to be a creator. 7 years ago, it was like 1 or 2 people, oh, I like this, I like this. Now, everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to make videos. Everybody wants to travel the world. So it's really exciting what's happening over the last 7 years.
And what's so consistent, just like the tea, to you in your career?
So what's so consistent is that every day for the last 7 years, I've been thinking about building this. I've been thinking about making content. I've been thinking about telling stories, making videos, sharing the world, seeing the world. I only think about the business for the last 7 years. So nothing has changed from my side. Now I guess it started first as a way for me to have fun and travel and maybe make money, maybe. But now it's like, I need to build the next 10,000 Nas Dailies. How do I find the next 10,000 Nas Dailies? And a lot of them are in Vietnam. A lot of them are in Vietnam. You know, Vietnam has like insane sort of talent and media because there's 100 million people that live there. It's 100 million people. It's not 5. So, so I think there's a lot of opportunities in Vietnam, outside of Vietnam, in Thailand, in India. Everywhere you look, you're drowning in opportunity. And that's what I want to do now for the rest of my life.
Okay. You say that when you first start, you're young and naive,
Yeah.
but then your content, you see the flow of your content. When you think, first thing they ask me is like, okay, your start, like they have this quite very interesting part of the NAT Summit, which is we were just there, and you roast other YouTuber.
Yes.
I guess you do that often.
Yes, I like to give harsh feedback.
Okay, and I asked him to roast Vietcetera YouTube.
Oh, really?
You already look at it. What you
You want me
can be
to
hard,
roast
yeah?
Vietcetera?
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Why not?
I can't because I don't understand the language.
Okay.
So I cannot roast something.
Oh
that
my
I
God,
don't
you're trying to be
understand.
nice now?
No, I don't want to be nice. I want to say it sucks, but I can't say it sucks because what I saw also is you are a company that for your podcast, you're getting 1 million views for a long video. That's very impressive. And I don't know how to do that. So I can't roast something that's obviously successful. It's successful. I would say maybe the choice of guests. I see your last 2 videos were pretty bad.
Now the real one, the true color is coming out.
This sucks.
Keep going.
No, it looks like you had maybe it's a problem with the guests. Maybe the topic of the guest was not interesting. But it's clear that the last 2 videos were not good. And I'm sure a lot of people were disappointed.
And thumbnails and...
Thumbnails are like not exceptional, but not bad.
Okay.
It's like, but there's also no life to it. In the sense that I can tell this is a media company. Nothing wrong with it. It's a media company. Great. But I know media companies have no feelings. Media companies have no strong opinions. Yeah, media companies are humanless. So there's a big difference. So you need to humanify Vietcetera. Vietcetera logo is now a big V. What does it stand for? Vietnam?
Viet, etc. What?
Yeah, well, it's like, who are the humans that behind it? Who is the primary host? I'd like us, and if I look at the top things as well, the cover photo, it's like, what the hell is this? There's not a single human there.
I start feeling regretting asking you to roast Vietcetera.
You wanted to be roasted. And your shorts are really not working. You're averaging 5,000 views per short, which is crazy because Vietnam loves short content. So the fact that your shorts are not good, I think something is wrong here. Maybe you need to make it better. But I'd say my number one goal, my number one feedback is humanify, like humanize the channel, the people behind it, the people making it. If you look at Nas Daily, the profile picture is 4 humans. If you look at the cover photo, it's just humans. People love people. People don't love media companies. You know who went bankrupt?
Vice just recently.
Yes, where Vice went bankrupt. You want to be the next Vice?
Hang on, okay, let's debate on this.
Bo starts with a V. I'm joking.
Shorter life.
Am I mean enough?
No, but let's debate on this a little bit because I remember in NAS Summits in one of your speech you saying that a creator should
have opinions.
Have opinions. When more media company or journalists, we need to stay neutral. I think it's gonna be such a messy world if everyone have opinions and no one care about the truth or the facts or just being true to what happening.
Right.
So where's the border between that two worlds?
The only people who should not have opinions are the mathematicians, the doctors, and the physicists, and the rocket scientists. You must have no opinions. Everybody else, in every other industry, it's all opinions. There's no truth.
Okay.
Even accounting. Accounting has different opinions. There's different standards for accounting. Some companies can be considered profitable, but for someone else's opinion, they are losing a lot of money, right? So it's like, there's no such thing, I don't believe in such thing as truth. There's no truth. You could say I'm ugly, but is that the truth? It's not the truth. I could be pretty, but I also could be ugly, right? So in a way, everybody trying to chase the truth, I think is just like unless you're doing science, you should chase the truth. But if you're doing anything else that has humans in it, there's no truth. It's just opinions. So some could say, I love Vietnam, and Vietnam is a prosperous country. That's an opinion. We don't know if it's the truth. Someone else could say, well, Vietnam is a developing country and there is no prosperity. You know, you could look at different things. So in a way, I don't, everybody should have an opinion and be proud.
Sure, I'm sure. I'm sure. But where's the border between that two words? Like, if you have the extreme opinion, you can. It sounds cheesy, but you can hurt people, or you can turn the word into very untruthful.
But why is extreme opinion bad? Why is it bad to have an extreme? Because you have an extreme opinion. Because you say, I think Vietnam is the future. It's the best country in the world. Is Vietnam the best country in the world for you?
No.
Oh, okay, well, oops. But many people would say Vietnam is the best country in the world. That is an extreme opinion. That's not negative, it's positive. So in my opinion, I know this is very unpopular, but the more extreme you are, the more likely you are to change things. I think people in the middle oftentimes don't really change much.
Well, I see that in the way you're making content.
Yes.
7 years ago, you chose such a solid form to tell stories.
Which was extreme.
I
back then.
know. And it worked very well. And then your story is extreme as well. You find some story or some human to talk to, like it's crazy stories.
Yes.
I'm just curious. How normally you work on your stories? Like, do you look at stories like, oh, not extreme enough, or you can do a few technique to make it extreme? It's like how it works.
So we don't use the word extreme. We say the word interesting. Not interesting enough. 99% of the world is boring or standard, and what we look for is the thing that's like different, which in other words, extreme. So we really chase, like if I tell you this is a highway, you're like, okay, that's a highway, it's a street, I don't care about highways. But if I tell you I found the longest highway in the world, oh, I want to know more about it. People want to know more about the extremes, even if it's really boring. What if I tell you I'm drinking now the most expensive tea in the world? This is the most expensive tea in the world. You're going to ask me 5 questions about it. Where does it come from? How do they make it? Why do they make it? How much is it? Why did you buy it? And in the process of asking these questions, you learn something new about how tea is made. So extreme things help us grow. Similarly, the pandemic was an extreme case. It helped us grow in developing vaccines. So anyway, extreme things make people uncomfortable, but they also make you grow. And that's why I like talking about the extremes, highlighting the extremes, and living an extreme life myself. I wear the same T-shirt for the last 6 years.
Very extreme.
Very extreme. But there's a message behind it.
Yeah, we know. But how you measure that extremeness, like when you find a story. So you based on star data, or how you should, like how you choose your story.
How do we choose a story?
Yeah, do you just feel excited yourself first, or it's like how I just want?
Yeah, the story has to be interesting to me and the team, but I must find it interesting that I want to watch it, and I don't want to watch anything in the world. So we have a team of 15 people or so that go around the world and look for stories. We look for, let's say, 100 video ideas from, let's say, a specific country, let's say Vietnam. We get to make a list of 100 things, everything. We look at everything in Vietnam, and then we look at the top 100 things, and then we choose 5 or 6.
Okay.
And those are the 5 or 6 ideas we go and make on Nastedi. So there's a lot of filtering for us to make a final piece of product.
Is there any story that yourself feel super interesting, but then turn out people not interested in it, or the portion is quite right to the audience?
We get it right 70% of the time. We miss 30% of the time. But I think after 7 years, I feel like you kind of guess what will do well and what will not. Sometimes you get surprised, but eventually they do well. Eventually the stories do well. I mean, we put a lot of effort into them. We put a lot of effort. So I would say 70% of the time we do well, 30% we fail.
Okay. But we're talking about well and not well, right? Any time that thing went wrong for you
Like in life,
in the videos first.
anytime something went wrong.
Yeah, it's like you cannot control it.
Few
Few times,
times.
right? It's like if I look at media, those
Yeah.
boring media company who feature.
Yeah. So, look, if somebody was about to steal my job, I'm going to do whatever it takes to like show them in a negative light. All traditional media is out of the business. They make no money, they have no soul, and they're writing articles like it's 1995. They're about to be destroyed. Like plain and simple. So you said, I saw media about Nas Daily. What did you see? Yahoo News. What is Yahoo News? It is the past. It's a dead company, right? So in a sense that I find it interesting. So Nas Daily makes a lot of mistakes, for sure. And we piss off a lot of people. Great. But it's not like, I think it's about what are we here for? Like, we are here to make a strong opinion, make videos about our strong opinion, and put it on the internet for the world to see. And we know in the process it's going to piss off a lot of people. And that is a cost I'm willing to pay. I want people to be pissed. Because for every person that's pissed, there's 10 people that are in love. If you hate something, then by definition, you can love it. Anything that can be loved can be hated. Anybody that can be hated can be loved. But anything that cannot be loved cannot be hated. It's neutral. It's boring. You cannot love or hate this, or you cannot love or hate this table. It is so boring, this table. You hate this, but I love it. But you know what I mean? So the more hate you get, it also happens to be the more love you get. And that's why the most hated people in the planet are also the most loved. Like presidents, Obama, for example, is the most hated in half of America, but he's loved so much in Vietnam.
Well, I feel you, right? My
Yeah.
very first YouTube show is called Bitches in Town, right?
Bitches in Town.
I
How do you say bitches in Vietnamese?
no, in Vietnamese I turn it to like talkative people.
Oh, okay.
Like, "Những kẻ lắm lời." So I got, hated so much for that show, but I gained a lot of love as well in my
Yes.
career. So I totally understand. And even in my generations, I'm the most opinionated one because I speak
I can
my
tell
voice,
from the
right?
hair and the 10 tattoos.
I used to have a cover tattoo. I have a nose ring and then I have to take it off, like all that.
Really?
Anyway, it's just the outside look. But I kind of believe in a word that you can be true, neutral, but still have strong opinion.
How can you be neutral and with a strong opinion?
I'm about to find out soon. I was still working on it.
Yeah.
So first, before when I interview people, I have a strong opinion about the person I interview, and it's turned into debate, which has happened last 15 minutes. But
So what's your strong opinion of me?
that
Be
you have a
honest.
strong opinion. That's why it makes me wonder what's your downside, because not everyone can be this intensive and then extreme all the time. It's going to be exhausting.
So where do I fail? The question, where would I fail? What's the downside?
Where's your soft spot?
My soft spot. Oh, yeah. So one problem with me is I have no heart. So actually, by the time this goes out, you'll know that my girlfriend and I, we broke up with each other. So our relationship ended
Just wait.
like 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we're still friends, as you can tell from the summit.
Yeah.
But I my soft spot is I have no heart. As I focus a lot on building a business, a lot of the things that are, how do I say, like emotional stuff, I'm not very strong at. So it comes and goes. I cannot win in everything. So I win in making content. Let's say maybe building a business, not yet. I win in making content, but I also lose in the ability to build a family. I lose in the ability to maintain a relationship, make the people next to me feel cared for and attended for and loved. I fail in this department, I win in this department. I'm not proud of it, but you asked where do I fail? Like I fail in this.
So do you believe in like you have to fail to win? Is that a man issue that you can choose only, it's my career
issue.
Yeah, I know I'm being, but it's like women, we believe like a love and life together.
Yes, you can win-win.
Yeah,
you can have a win-win. Yes.
Men believe that, this time I'm going to focus on this.
Yes.
I must not distract, and
Yes.
everything is not
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
how? And then how long are you going to keep doing this?
So you're right. You're absolutely right. Like my girlfriend is more on the side of, hey, you can win here and you can win here and you can go these together and we can have a harmony and peace. Women promote harmony and peace. It's like inherent in women. It's incredible. I'm very...
No, which is more advanced, like...
Also, I believe that. Part of me is still very basic or primitive in the sense that I'm obsessive. I obsessively must make this work. And the reason why is because what we want to do, what I want to do is so extremely difficult that there's no space for mistakes or distractions. Making 1,000 videos in 1,000 days, it's very different from getting a job in accounting, 9 to 5. That's hard, but still easy compared to 1,000 videos. Building a media company is very hard. Building a technology, making NAS Summit is very hard. What we are doing is very hard, and I feel like the opportunity is so large. Like one mistake, 10 million people start to hate you. You've seen, happened to us in other countries, happened to us in Vietnam, happened to us in the Philippines. One tiny mistake, 10 million people are now, fuck you, And so clearly there's no room for mistakes. If there's no room for mistakes, there's no room for distractions. No room for distractions, it must be all in. That's the logic I use. Of course, it's the wrong logic. I agree with you, it's the wrong logic, but we're not perfect. This is my weakness.
Do you have a deadline for this? Like, are you going to focus for 10 years?
Yeah, I have a deadline. So probably until I'm 40. So I have 9 more years.
Okay.
9 more years. And then I can, live your life. Balance. Community.
Wow, okay. I can tell there's something happening in your head. Just seeing you even 10 kilometers far from the stage, I can feel that. I can feel that focused energy, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you very mission driven at this moment. I don't know. I feel like, it's you young.
I'm still young and inexperienced.
And it's like so intensive. Who am I to tell that? But I think there's a beauty in it. And then if you chose to do that, then who are people to judge that? It's just you. Do you feel fine with your decision?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I do feel fine with my decision because I do believe that what we're trying to do eventually, ultimately, does good to the world. Mm-hmm. The NAS Daily videos are not pictures, are not videos of pranks. They're not videos of stupid shit. They're videos of education, right? I believe that NAS Summit, you were there. It was not, most people got a positive experience. So the presence of the company, our company in the world, is a positive experience. So I think if you look at the things, I do some things that are negative, let's say it like this, and the company does things that are positive like this. Overall, we're positive. We're good for the world. So I feel good about that. And I think anybody that thinks they can win in every single race is probably delusional. It's very difficult to win in everything. So I know where I'm going to lose, and I know where I want to win. Maybe one day I'll change my mind, but yeah.
No, but thank you and your team for this, because just last night I watched one of your videos, which is random, right? I'm doing this research about this kind of interviewing, but there's only 2 words I can think of when I watch even doing this business for 20 years. I've seen a lot of content, but feel good content is not so easy to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, when was the moment this is your mission? Like you would devote this much of time.
I was born and raised in like a small village in the Middle East. It's kind of like being born and raised in like
outside of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh in
I'm
Vietnam.
from Haiphong, which is outside of Hanoi.
Yeah, it's like a small place. Nobody cares about it. It's like nothing. You're nothing. Basically, your presence on this planet is worthless, in the sense that nobody is looking at you for opinions or for economic growth. And that was a terrible feeling. It was a terrible feeling, knowing that your presence on this planet, society does not value. My society, the society I lived in, did not value my existence, did not value my entire village presence.
Wait, but can I stop you a little bit? Like,
Yeah.
why you feel like that? It's like not every kid's feeling like that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? I think it's because I grew up as a minority. So I was a Palestinian inside Israel. I was a Muslim Israeli. So it's very difficult. It's like, I don't know of a similar example for like Vietnam,
Yeah.
but anyway, you get the idea. So growing up as a minority, it's like, shit, this sucks. When I started Nas Daily, after 2 years, I started to notice that, oh my God, like my opinion matters to like 10 people. Wow. It's a new feeling, So after feeling worthless for 25 years, I don't think most
Come
people...
on, you made it to Harvard and any of that didn't make
didn't
you...
help. Didn't help. Even though I made it to Harvard, didn't help. At Harvard, I was worthless. I was at the bottom of the pyramid. So you can be in the highest skyscraper, but you're at the bottom floor. So it almost felt like I was worthless. I felt worthless. I wasn't worthless. I felt worthless. Not worthless. I mean, there's I felt like my opinion didn't matter. That's probably a better way to say it. So when I did Nas Daily, I felt, wow, finally, 25 years later, people are paying attention to what I want to say. And that's a feeling I hope everybody can feel at some point in their life. It took me 25 years to get there. Some people get there after 40 years, 60 years, 70 years. I don't know when you got there after how many years. Some people will have a great childhood and will feel that their opinion matters after 2 years of existence. Great. But I want everybody to feel that at some point. And with Nas Daily, I feel it. And that's a feeling I never want to give away.
Do you think if you do a different job, or this is the only way?
There's no other job. There's nothing else that matters.
When you learn something about neuroscience, it's like at 25, our brain is finally getting mature.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's about the job. It's about just it's at 25 we start to aware of things.
Yeah. And you start to have strong opinions.
Yeah.
And, so I think I matured at age 25.
I get to know that feeling a bit when I start.
When did you feel it? When did you finally feel that you matter?
I'm very different. I'm from a small city, but my city is a gangster city.
Oh, are you a gangster person?
No, but I have that running in me, so I'm feeling different. But of course, I know the feeling at one point, just recent actually with Visetra. That's why we
What's
try
that?
harder with Visetra. I start feeling it just 3 years ago.
So you start feeling like you matter?
The some things that's bigger than you.
Ah, okay.
That missions, I feel is it late? I don't care. I feel lucky to find it. So
Yes,
I
right?
know what you're talking about.
And how old are you?
39.
All right, so 30,
36.
So for 36, and so
Pretty
at
big
age
number.
36, you started to feel like your work is bigger than you.
Before it's not clear, but there's
Yeah.
a moment you're
Yeah.
like, oh, if you keep doing this and make no mistake,
Yes.
you get to deliver something.
Bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of media, because you're reaching millions of people, not just one-on-one. So I hope everybody feels the same way.
Yeah, I hope that young people put this in their, timeline.
Yeah,
to
life
find-
goals.
Yeah.
Find something
yeah.
bigger than you.
Yeah, because most of the time now the world changed so much. I have kids; they see the world very different. Like they find themselves quite strong and impactful already, which is
That's interesting.
it's very different now.
Yeah.
But do you, during the time, you have doubt, of course. What could go wrong?
Most people think that when you build something, you build one thing and then you are done. So like, oh, Nas Daily, I had doubts and then it's successful and that's it. No more doubts. But actually, most successful careers, it's basically winning 20 times and trying 20 different things and then having doubts 20 times, right? So I had doubts about Nas Daily. Now I don't have doubts about Nas Daily. But now I'm building a company. I have doubts about the company. I have doubts about Nas Summit. I have doubts about Nas IO. I have doubts about our office in Dubai. I have doubts about the next 2 years. You know, so I always have doubts. I have doubts today, and I have doubts 7 years ago, and I will have doubts 10 years from now. So it's tough. I'm not gonna say it's easy.
But do you consider yourself keep making content, or you will move up to more of like just managing content?
And this is where I also have doubts. I don't know. I don't know. You know what the word sustainable, everybody in the world says things must be sustainable, but nobody actually defined the word. What is sustainable? What is your opinion? How do you define the word sustainable?
I can give you example of my life goal. No,
give me
just
5-word description of the word sustainable.
That I can just stand here and be not needed anyone. And if I needed anything, I should give back that much of energy.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, so that's your definition of sustainable.
Yeah.
Makes sense. My definition of sustainable is answering the question, can you do this forever? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then it's not sustainable. If the answer is yes, then it is sustainable. So for example, can you live off of oil forever as a country? No. So oil is not sustainable because oil is going to disappear. So can I make videos forever? Can I make 1-minute videos forever? And the answer is no. So what I'm doing right now is not sustainable. So I need to find
something you do forever.
Something I can do forever, yeah. What can I do forever?
Have more doubts forever.
Well, no, but that's a negative thing. But I know that something I can do forever is talk to humans. I can talk to humans forever. In fact, I don't like to be alone. So if I'm alone for 2 hours, I get bored. So I want to talk to humans forever. So that's all I want to do in life, which means talking to you, right? That's one. I can do this forever. Talking to my management team, I can do that forever. Building a company, I can do that forever. That's it. But I can't do anything else forever. So basically, long story short, at some point, I'll have somebody else make the videos, and I'll just focus on talking to the people I work with forever and build a company.
Can you talk without talking?
Can I talk without talking? What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes being quiet next to each other. I don't know what. There's a different languages about talking. Right?
Oh, yeah. No, I like talking.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So what's the hardest people experience that you have to? What kind of people that is hardest for you to talk to?
What kind of people that are the hardest to talk to?
I'll share myself.
Yes, please.
I interview a lot of big celebrities, and I kind of wanted to talk to everyone.